Hello and welcome to Leadership Development Skills. I'm your Professor John Harvey, and here we are in week 5. So the course is moving on, and I'm excited to cover chapter 5. So chapter 5 is about problem solving, and I think it's an interesting one because there's many facets to it, and the chapter goes through a lot of this. But really, my 2 cents and just kind of adding to the conversation on this, one of the critical things that happens in problem solving really is defining the problem. And I find it over and over. I'm guilty of it. I think most of us would, when you look back on this, recognize that a lot of times solving the problem is really about defining what the problem is. And I'm trying to think of a simple example to give you on this, but if we're talking in a mechanic situation, you may hear a sound and you may think that that's the problem, right? But the sound may be a symptom of the actual problem, and so you can have to define that and say, well, what is the actual problem that needs to be solved? I've been in many projects over and over where I think I know what the problem is, start building out a solution and developing, the process or whatever to address that, only to find that we really hadn't defined the problem well enough. I'll give you an example. I've got a client now that one group is defining the problem as we don't have, we need to have everyone into this one software tool, right? Another group is like, well, we need to have everyone out of that tool and actually over in this other tool. Both of them are trying to address it, but they're actually jumping to the solution by saying it needs to be one tool or another. The real problem is actually that they need the people that are going to be in that tool to do updates and do responses, and that's the real crux of the problem. They just happen to be going, well, that's the problem and the solution is this, and so this is the right way to go, when in fact they've missed the point, which is address the actual problem. How do we get people to update things regardless of what system it's in, right? So maybe an esoteric example, but a very real world one that I'm actually dealing with a client right now. So I really think that you really want to focus in on defining what that problem is and stating it back and getting that validation. What you want to do is be very careful of your assumptions. Many times we're going through with that problem and we're assuming that everything stays constant or that these things are a given, when in fact they may not be. I've seen this in other clients as well. But the third piece I want to add to that is you want to be careful of your assumptions, but you also want to review your process. So think back to a problem that you solved. It can be anything. And go back and look and ask yourself, how did I come up with a solution for that problem? And then kind of walk yourself back to that, because that process is what you want to really focus on. And the better you can refine that process, the faster you can solve the problems, the more likely that you're actually solving the right problem. And that's a very frequent problem, is that you kind of miss that point. So I know short kind of response there, but really critical stuff, and I wanted you guys to kind of have my quick take on chapter 5. Now this week is also the interview papers. They're due, so I will remind you that the assignment is in the assignments folder. It says paper 1, and you can upload your papers there. And so I'm looking for that networking. You're making a connection. You're connecting to the material itself, so ask questions that are relevant from the chapters and stuff, and then obviously a good format. I'm looking forward to your responses. All right, guys, short video, but looking forward to your stuff. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon. All right, take care.